Hello and welcome to the second contest of the 2024 Inter-Halls Bible Quiz, brought to you by LifeCity Church. Today's contest is between Volta Hall, Akuafo Hall, and non-resident. Let's meet our contestant. Non-resident is represented by
Ado Jessica.
Lawete Gabriel.
Okay. How has been your preparation so far, and what are your expectations?
So far, so good. Our preparation has been good, and we hope the Almighty God will see us through.
Oh, great. Akuafo Hall is represented by
Deborah Gordon.
And Josiah Odute.
How has your preparations been so far, and what are your expectations?
It has not been easy, but it is well.
What are your expectations for this contest?
No expectations.
We are hoping for the
Okay. Volta Hall is represented by
Bevelyn Afum. Princess Opon.
This program is brought to you by LifeCity Church. My name is Pamela Fokolaye, and I'm your quiz mistress. Now to the contestants. This contest will come to you in 4 rounds. Round 1, here are the rules. Most questions in this round require simple, straightforward answers. Some questions may require some explanations or more detailed answers. You have 10 seconds to answer your major question, and your answer must be one attempt only, meaning you cannot start one answer and continue with a different answer. If a team fails to answer their main question, I may pass the question on for a bonus to the remaining teams. The first team to ring their bell will have the opportunity to answer. Let's hear the bells of each team. Non-resident. Akuafo Hall. Volta Hall.
A sweet fragrance.
Please note, a correct answer to a main question is worth 3 points. A correct answer to a bonus question is worth a single point. A wrong answer to a bonus question will cost you a deduction of 1 point. Let all your answers be precise and accurate. Best wishes to all teams.
Thank you. All the best.
Our first set of questions. Preamble to all teams, listen carefully. Mention any 2 of what God created on each of the following days in the creation story. Mention any 2 of what God created on each of the following days in the creation story. Non-residents, the 5th day.
He created the birds in the sky and the fishes in the water.
That's correct. Akuafo Hall, the 2nd day.
The sky and the firmament.
I'll give you 2 points.
1.
The 4th day, Volta Hall. The 4th day. For a bonus, the 4th day. Okay. Audience, the 4th day. Okay, so the sun, the moon, and the stars. next set of questions, preamble to all teams. Listen carefully. Jesus fed a multitude of people at least on 2 occasions recorded in the New Testament. Jesus fed a multitude of people at least on 2 occasions recorded in the New Testament. Non-resident. Mention one of the occasions by indicating A, how many counted men were fed, B, how many loaves of bread were blessed, and C, how much leftover was gathered.
He fed 5,000 men with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes, and there were 12 baskets full of leftovers.
Okay. That's correct. Akuafo, mention the other occasion by indicating A, how many counted men were fed, B, how many loaves of bread were blessed, and C, how much leftover was gathered.
He fed 4,000 people.
You can go ahead. How many loaves of bread were blessed? Give it up for them. Volta, indicate how many fishes were blessed in each of the 2 occasions.
For the 5,000, 2 fishes, and then for the 4,000, 1 fish.
Okay, I'll give it to you. Our next set of questions. Non-residents. The 5 major offerings the Lord instructed the people of Israel to offer in the book of Leviticus can be grouped as follows. A, sweet aroma offerings. B, non-sweet aroma offerings. Indicate which of the following offerings fall under each of the 2 categories. So indicate which of the offerings fall under each of the 2 categories. Sweet aroma and then non-sweet aroma offerings. So which offerings fall under sweet aroma? Which offerings fall under non-sweet aroma?
So we have
You were bailed out. For a bonus. Okay. Akuafo, mention 2 differences between sweet aroma offerings and non-sweet aroma offerings. Any 2 differences? Okay. Volta, mention 2 other differences not already mentioned. Difference between sweet and non-sweet. Okay. So, sweet aroma offerings refer to the offerings that were not required for sin. Non-sweet aroma offerings were required for sin. Sweet aroma offerings were offered by free will. Non-sweet aroma offerings were offered by requirement. Sweet aroma offerings were meant to burn and produce smoke which ascends to heaven to the Lord and bring him sweet aroma, but non-sweet aroma offerings were not intended to ascend with smoke of aroma to the Lord. These and many more are expected. Our next set of questions, preamble to all teams, listen carefully. On the day God called Moses, God gave him 3 signs to show the people of Israel so they will believe God has indeed appeared to him and called for such a purpose. On the day God called Moses, God gave him 3 signs to show to the people of Israel, so they would believe God had indeed appeared to him and called him for such a purpose. Non-residents, mention one of these signs.
God asked him to put his rock, just to lay his rod in front of Pharaoh, and it turned into snake, and it swallowed the rods of his magicians, who also turned into snake. His rod that turned into snake swallowed the.
I'll give you 2 points. Akuafo Hall, mention another sign not already mentioned. Mention another sign not already mentioned.
His hand became leprous.
I'll give you a single point. Volta Hall, mention another sign not already mentioned.
God told Moses to put his hand inside the cloak he's wearing. And when he placed it inside and he took it out, it was diseased. And he told him to put it back in and take it out again.
I'll give it to you. Yes! I'll give it to you. So 3 points. Oh! Please give it up for Volta Hawkins. Preamble to all teams, listen very carefully. Preamble. Jesus demonstrated his knowledge of weather forecasting in Matthew chapter 16. Jesus demonstrated his knowledge of weather forecasting in Matthew chapter 16. Non-residents, according to Jesus, how did the people tell that an evening was going to be a fair weather? For a bonus, Akuafo Hall. Are you ready? Please, you have to ring first. Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead.
When the sky was turning red.
That's correct for a single point. Akuafo Hall, your main question. How did the people tell that the morning was going to be a foul weather?
When the sky was red and threatening.
That's correct. For 3 points. Volta Hall. What rebuke did Jesus give the Pharisees and Sadducees concerning the ability to forecast the weather? What rebuke did Jesus give the Pharisees and Sadducees concerning the ability to forecast the weather?
He said they are able to tell of the different weathers, but they are not able to tell of the signs of the end time.
That is correct for 3 points. Our next set of questions. Now, residents. In Mark chapter 7, Jesus healed a deaf and mute man. Where exactly did this miracle happen? In Mark chapter 7.
Capernaum.
Oh no. For a bonus. Okay, audience. Okay, I'll relax for now. In Mark chapter 8, Akuafo Hall, Jesus healed a blind man. Where exactly did this miracle happen? In Mark 8.
By the roadside. When the man was calling for help.
I'm not giving that to you. Where exactly? Okay, Volta Hall. One day, Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do men say I am?" Where exactly did this conversation take place? Who do men say I am? For a bonus. Okay. So in Mark 7, it happened at the lake of Gennesaret or the Sea of Galilee. In Mark 8, it happened at Bethsaida. And then the last one where the conversation of who do men say I am happened was at Caesarea Philippi. Our next set of questions. Pick the odd one out and explain fully the reason for your choice. No residents. Pick the odd one out and explain fully the reason for your choice. Onan. O-N-A-N. Shelah. C-S-H-E-L-A-H. S-H-E-L-A-H. Zerah. Z-E-R-A-H. And Puva. P-U-V-A-H. Pick the odd one out and explain fully the reason for your choice. Okay, you can go ahead.
Shelah.
Okay, why?
That's all.
Okay, you've been bailed out. Incorrect. For a bonus. Onand Shelah Zera Puva. You were bailed out. Okay. Akuafo, your main question. Pick the odd one out and explain fully the reason for your choice. Pick the odd one out and explain fully the reason for your choice. The camel, the rock hearers, the hare, the swine. The camel, the rock hearers, the hare, the swine. Okay, you can go ahead.
The rock hero.
Why? For a bonus. Okay.
The rock era.
Why?
Because the rest of the animals were forbidden to be eaten. Were forbidden animals by God.
I'm not accepting that. Yes. It's not right. Okay. Volta, pick the odd one out and explain fully the reason for your choice. Eliphaz, Ruel, R-E-U-E-L, Jews, J-E-U-S-H, and Asher, A-S-H-E-R. Pick the odd one out and explain fully the reason for your choice. Okay. So the first one, for a bonus, sorry. Okay. So the first one, it was Puva, because the rest, that's Onan, Shelah, Zerah, are sons of Judah, but Puva is a son of Issachar. The next one is the swine, because the rest chew the cud and do not have a divided hoof. But the swine has a divided hoof, but does not chew the cud. And then the next one is Asher. The rest are sons of Esau, that's Eliphaz, Ruel, Jews. But Asher is a son of Jacob. Preamble to all teams, listen carefully, next set of questions. The following questions concern the plagues that came upon Egypt. The plagues that came upon Egypt. Non-residents, how many days did the plague of bloody water last? How many days did the plague of bloody water last?
3 days.
No, that's incorrect. For a bonus. Okay. Audience. Audience. Oh, it's 7 days. Okay. Akuafo, how many days did the plague of the darkness last? How many days did the plague of darkness last?
3 days, 3 nights.
Okay, 3 days is correct. Okay. Volta, what did the magician say to Pharaoh after Aaron unleashed the plague of the lice? What did the magician say to Pharaoh after Aaron unleashed the plague of the lice? Okay, what did the magician say to Pharaoh? Audience. Okay, you can try. Yes, he said, this is the finger of God. That's correct. Okay, our next set of questions. Preamble to all teams, listen carefully. The following passage is an extract from Matthew chapter 17. Fill in the blank spaces to complete the passage. The following passage is an extract from Matthew chapter 17. Fill in the blank spaces to complete the passage. Non-resident. Now after dash, Jesus took dash, led them up on dash by themselves. Now after dash, Jesus took dash, led them up on dash by themselves. Matthew 17.
Now, after saying a prayer, Jesus took bread, led them up on the mountain.
Okay, you have a single point. Give it up for him. Okay. Akuafo, we are continuing the passage. And he was dashed before them, his face dashed and his clothes dashed. And he was dashed before them, his face dashed and his clothes dashed.
And he was transfigured before them. His face
Go ahead. His face dashed.
His face became white, and like his face shone,
And then his clothes.
and his clothes became white.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. Volta, end this passage for us. And behold, Dash appeared to them, talking with him. Then Peter answered and said to Jesus, Dash, if you wish, Dash. And behold, Dash appeared to them, talking with him. Then Peter answered and said to Jesus, Dash, if you wish, Dash.
And behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to them. And
Talking with him. And then Peter answered and said to Jesus, Dash.
and Peter answered to Jesus, and let your will be done.
No, that's incorrect. Okay, we are reading this passage. Now, after 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James, and John, his brother, led them up on a high mountain by themselves. And he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became white as the light. And behold, Moses and Elijah appeared to them, talking with him. Then Peter answered and said to Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. Isn't it a beautiful passage? Preamble to all teams, listen carefully. Preamble. The angel that appeared to Zacharias concerning the birth of John mentioned about 8 characteristics of the spirituality and ministry of John the Baptist. The angel that appeared to Zacharias concerning the birth of John mentioned about 8 characteristics of the spirituality and ministry of John the Baptist. Non-resident, mention any 2 of them.
He came to clear the way for the Messiah, and he came to baptize the sinners.
I'm not accepting that. Akuafo, mention any 2 not already mentioned.
In his early ministry, he was talking about repentance, and he also came to baptize people with water.
I'm also not accepting that. Volta, mention any other 2 not already mentioned.
he will be someone who is gonna eat locusts, like he's gonna eat wild locusts and honey, and and
That is also incorrect. Okay, let's listen to the answers. He said, he will be great in the sight of the Lord. He shall neither drink wine nor strong drink. He will be filled with the Holy Spirit even from his mother's womb. He will go forth in the spirit and power of Elijah. He will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children. He will turn the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, and many, 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 many more. Our last set of questions for this round. Non-resident. In the space of 40 seconds, quote in full 6 verses from the book of Exodus. Six verses, 40 seconds.
Exodus chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord shall fight for you, and he shall hold your peace at the rest.
Please, you still have some time to say something. Okay, since it's one, I can't give you any point. No, we don't give up. Okay. Akuafo. Akuafo. In the space of 40 seconds, quote in full 6 verses from Leviticus. Okay.
Leviticus chapter 10, verse 2. And the fire came up from heaven and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. Leviticus chapter 10, verse 8. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying,
Go ahead, your time.
Leviticus chapter 25, verse 50. For they are the servants. For they are the servants of Israel. Oh, I don't remember.
Okay, I'll give you 1 point. Oh, give it up for him. Volta, in the space of 40 seconds, quote in full 6 verses from the book of Mark. Non-residents earned 8 points. Volta Hall came up with 9 points. And Akuafo Hall earned 14 points. I would say this is just the beginning. We have 3 more rounds to go. Thank you, audience, for your massive support. Round 2. The speed race. Every question goes to all teams, and you must all race to be the first to answer. If you believe you have an answer, you must ring the bell to be called. Non-residents, can I hear your bell? Akuafo Hall. Volta Hall. Great. By the time you ring the bell, you must be ready with your answer, else the next team to have rung will be given the opportunity to answer. A correct answer if you were the first to ring is 3 points. A correct answer if you were the second to ring is 2 points. A correct answer if you were the third to ring is a single point. Any incorrect answer given after ringing will cost you a deduction of 1 point. Wow. -1. You are not obliged to ring the bell if you are not sure of your answer. Let all answers be precise and accurate. Best wishes. Our first question for the speed race. Contestants, are you ready? Great. Okay. The Garden of Eden was watered by a river, which also flowed out, splitting into 4 river heads. What was the name of the original river which parted into the 4 outflows? What was the name of the original river which parted into the 4 outflows? Audience, not at all. Yes, it was not named. That's correct. Our second question. As exact as possible, quote the text in John chapter 16, verse 12. As exact as possible, quote the text in John chapter 16, verse 12. Audience, John 16, 12. Don't check your Bibles. Okay. I still have many things to say to you, but you cannot bear them now. Okay, our next question. Name the wife and children of Aaron. Okay, Akuafo.
The children of Aaron were Abihu and Nadab.
You can
Nadab.
go
And then the wife.
Say it, just say it.
The children were Nadab, Abihu, Itamar, and Eliezer.
And then who was the wife?
I don't know.
That's incorrect. For a bonus. Okay, so you had the children right, but you didn't know the wife, so it has to be precise and accurate. So the wife was Elisheba, and the children were Nadab, Abihu, Eliezer, and Ithamar. Great. Okay. So the next question. Who made this statement in the Bible? Depart from me, for I am a sinful man. Depart from me, for I am a sinful man. Who made this statement? Yeah. Akuafo.
The man possessed with the demon.
No. Anyone who rang? Okay, the bell out. So, audience, who made the statement? Depart from me, for I am a... Yes, Simon Peter is the correct answer. Okay, our next question. Non-resident, Volta, are you here? Great. Okay. Be as detailed as possible with this. Be as detailed as possible with this. What is the parable of the sower? Non-resident.
A sower went to see. Sorry, a sower went to sow.
Please go ahead. No, please go ahead. Audience. Okay, a sower went to sow. Please, your time
A
is
sower went to sow.
okay.
On his way, some of the seeds fell on the path, and other fell on rocky
Audience.
land or
Okay.
rocky soil, and other fell on a good soil. And can I start again?
Okay, start.
A sower went to sow. On his way,
Audience.
some of the seeds fell on the path. Others fell on the rocky or among rocks. Others fell on a good soil. The ones that fell on the path were eaten by birds of the sky, and the one that fell among the rocky soil could not sprout for lack of moisture, and the one that fell on the good soil blossomed and bare fruits.
This is that all.
I'm not.
Okay. You, that's fine. Who else rang? Okay. Please, you can go ahead.
A sower went to sow seed, and then on his way, some seed fell on the wayside, and fowls came to devour them. And then some fell on rocky grounds, and because they have no roots, they withered up. And then others fell on among thorns, and then they grew up, and the thorns choked them up. And then the fourth one, the others fell on good soil, and they bore fruits in 60s and 100 folds.
Okay, I'll give it to you for 2 points. What is the meaning of the Hebrew word yada? Yada. Audience, yada. Yes, yada is praise. Okay, our next question. How many chapters in total are in each of the following books? Numbers, Matthew, Mark. Numbers, Matthew, Mark. Akuafo.
Matthew 28, Mark 16.
Numbers. Numbers.
It's Numbers rather.
No, Matthew, Mark, and Numbers.
Matthew 28,
Yeah.
Mark 16. Numbers 20 is 20 something.
I can't give that to you. Anyone ringing? Okay. So Matthew and Mark was right. Matthew 28, Mark 16. But Numbers is 36. So it's not 20 something. So incorrect, -1. Any incorrect answer you gave is -1. Okay. Which of the 5 main offerings mentioned in Leviticus does not involve birds under any circumstance? Which of the 5 main offerings mentioned in Leviticus does not involve birds under any circumstance? Akuafo.
Sin offering.
No, that's incorrect. Okay, so it's the peace offering and then the meat or grain or cereal offering. Our next question. What is the mathematical relationship between the Omer and the Ephah, both units of measurement mentioned in the Bible? The Omer and then the Ephah. Volta Hall.
The Omer is 1/10 of the Ephah.
That's correct. Okay. Our next question. Mention the full list of the 7 Canaanite nations whose lands God promised to give to the children of Israel. Mention the full list of the 7 Canaanite nations whose lands God promised to give the children of Israel. The full list. Audience, are we giving this a try? Okay, so the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and then the Jebusites. Okay. Our next question, contestants. At what hour of the day was Jesus crucified? Non-residents. Please, you have to give your answer.
Are there? I started speaking.
Okay. Are there?
At the 11th hour.
Who else is ringing? Akuafo.
At the 12 noon.
Volta, are you trying this? Audience, at which hour of the day was Jesus crucified? At the 3rd hour. Yes, at the 3rd hour. Our next question. I said at which hour? Great. Okay. Our next question. The angel that appeared to Mary concerning the conception of Jesus spoke many things to Mary. Arrange the following summary statements from the angel in the order in which the statements were made. Arrange the following summary statements from the angel in the order in which the statements were made. A, he will reign. B, he will be great. C, do not be afraid. D, you will conceive and bring forth. Non-resident. You can just be afraid. Okay.
You conceive and bring forth a son.
Okay.
He will be great.
Okay.
He will reign.
That's correct. Okay. Our next question. Why did Moses call one of his sons Gershom? Audience, why did Moses call one of his sons Gershom? Yeah, he was a stranger in a foreign land. Okay, okay. Our next question. Somewhere in Genesis, the king of Sodom and the king of Salem were mentioned in conversations which possibly happened around the same place and around the same time. What were the names of these two kings? The king of Sodom, the king of Salem. And somewhere in Genesis. Okay, audience. King of... Yes. Okay, so the king of Sodom was Bera. And then the king of Salem was Melchizedek. Okay. Are we ready?
Volta is always ready.
Please listen to this very carefully. So I start. You met a dear brother, a member of your church, who believes that there's nothing wrong with sleeping with his girlfriend, so long as they would marry in the future. What scripture-based counsel will you give to this dear brother? Okay. Akuafo.
To me, I'll tell him to read James 4 verse 7. Submit yourself to God, resist the devil and he'll flee from you.
Okay, so how should you? So how? So when you tell him that, that's all.
Because
I'm listening.
you said fornication. Because maybe they might, they will commit fornication before entering.
No, I'm not accepting that. Any other of the two teams? Audience, what are you going to say? This brother. Oh, I can't hear you. Of course, the only word for fornication is to flee. Not discuss, not analyze. Okay. Our next question. What is the difference between Bethesda, 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 and Bethsaida, Bethsaida, Bethesda and Bethsaida? Bethesda and Bethsaida. Audience. Okay, that's correct. Okay, so Bethesda is a pool, and then Bethsaida is a city. Okay. Contestants, name the plagues of Egypt in the order that they happen. Non-resident.
The first plague, river now turned into blood. The second plague,
Relax.
lice invaded the land. Sorry, the first plague, river now turned into blood. The second plague, frogs invaded the land. The third plague, lice invaded the land. The fourth plague, I'm coming.
It's a speed race.
The fourth plague,
Who else is ringing?
the fourth plague, flies invaded the land. The fifth plague, dying of the livestock. The sixth plague, the sixth plague, boils over their bodies. The seventh plague.
Time is up. It looks like you know it, but it's a speed race. Okay. So yes, you were right on track. Water turned into blood, frogs, lice. Yeah, -1. Water. Water turned into blood, frogs, lice, flies, livestock pestilence, boils, hail, locusts, darkness, and then death of the firstborn. Please, you should know these things off here, though. Okay. Our next question. The Pharisees and Sadducees were two controversial groups that were popular during the times of Jesus' early ministry. With respect to the doctrinal beliefs, what distinction can you put between the Pharisees and then the Sadducees? Akuafo.
The Pharisees believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ, but the Sadducees do not believe in the resurrection.
Okay, that is correct.
Okay, we are coming.
Our next question, in fact, our last but one question for this round. The following sequence of places tell a story in a sequence. Indicate what each of the terms tell in the story. So I'm going to mention a list of places, then you tell me what each of them tell in the story. So Bethlehem, Egypt, Nazareth, Jerusalem. Bethlehem, Egypt, Nazareth, Jerusalem. Okay, audience, are we trying it? Bethlehem, Egypt, Nazareth, Jerusalem. Okay. So in Bethlehem, Jesus is born. In Egypt, Joseph and Mary flee to Egypt with the child Jesus. Then Joseph and Mary settle in Nazareth after the death of Herod. And then Jesus in the temple at the age of 12 in Jerusalem. Our last question for this round. Complete the following statements with precision and accuracy. Luke chapter 6, verse 38. The New King James Version says, "Give, and it will be given to you." Luke 6:38. The New King James Version says, "Non-resident. Give, and it will be given to you."
Press down, shaking together. Press down. Press down, shaking together. Macau.
I can't give that to you. Any Rengen? Okay, audience, would you do this? Luke 6:38. Okay, I'm listening. Give and it will be given to you. Okay, so good measure, pressed down, shaking together, and running over will be put into your bosom. For with the same measure that you use, it will be measured back to you. And that brings us to the end of round 2.
Oh, you did one.
So at the end of round 2, here are the scores. Non-resident and 7 points. Volta Hall and 12 points. And the Akuafo Hall came up with 13 points. So it's just a point difference. And we have 2 more rounds to go. Everything is possible. Round 3, true or false. So in this round, I'll be making statements to each team, and you are to tell. In this round, I'll be making statements to each team, and you are to tell whether the statement is true or false. A correct answer is worth 2 points. An incorrect answer will result in a deduction of a point. A team can decide not to answer their question, at which point it will be passed on to the next team, which rings their bell first. Same rules on points and deductions apply to a passed on question. Best wishes to all teams. Our first set of questions. Non-residents. The total number of verses in Matthew chapter 26 is the same as the total number of verses in Mark chapter 14.
False.
Yeah, that's a false statement. Oh, you won't give it up for him. Akuafo. The total number of verses in Mark chapter 14 is the same as the total number of verses in John chapter 6. We can keep this. For a bonus, Akuafo, non-resident.
False.
Yeah, that's a false statement. So you earn 2 points. Volta. The total number of verses in John chapter 6 is the same as the total number of verses in Luke chapter 22. For a bonus. Audience, is it true or is false? Yes, it's a true statement. Okay, our second set of questions. Non-resident. Methuselah is the son of Lamech.
False.
Yeah, that's a false statement. Akuafo. Rachel was given to Jacob as wife 7 years after Leah was married to him. Rachel was given to Jacob as wife 7 years after Leah was married to him.
False.
Yeah, that's a false statement. Volta. Leah gave birth 5 in succession and afterwards bore no more children. Leah gave birth 5 in succession and afterwards bore no more children.
True.
No, that's an incorrect statement. It's false. Our next set of questions. Non-resident. When Aaron's rod turned into a snake in Pharaoh's house, Pharaoh's magicians also turned their rods into snakes.
Statements.
No, it's true. Akuafo. When Aaron's rod turned the waters into blood, Pharaoh's magicians also turned some water into blood.
True.
Yeah, that's a true statement. Volta. When Aaron caused frogs to come from the waters to cover the land of Egypt, Pharaoh's magicians also caused some frogs to come upon the land.
True.
Yeah, that's a true statement. Our next set of questions. When Moses went up to the mountain to receive the tablet of commandment, the glory of the Lord covered the mountain for 4 days. And on the 5th day, God called Moses out of the midst of the cloud.
False.
Yeah, that's a false statement. Akuafo Hall. When Moses went up the mountain to receive the tablet of commandment, the glory of the Lord covered the mountain for 7 days. And on the 8th day, God called out Moses out of the midst of the cloud.
False.
Yeah, that's a false statement. Volta Hall. When Moses went up the mountain to receive the tablet of the commandment, the glory cloud of the Lord covered the mountain for 5 days. Okay, for a bonus, non-resident.
False.
Yeah, that's a false statement for 2 points. Okay, our next set of questions. Non-residents. The main difference between the offering of a cattle as a burnt offering and the offering of a sheep as a burnt offering is that in the offering of the cattle, the animal had to be skinned. True or false?
False.
No, that's a true statement. Akuafo Hall. All animal offerings were killed at the door of the tabernacle, near the altar, northward, whether or not they were sweet aroma offerings.
False.
Oh no, that's a true statement. Volta Hall. In a situation where birds could be offered, a possible composition is 1 turtle dove for a sin offering and 1 young pigeon for a burnt offering.
True.
No, that's a false statement. Our next set of questions. Non-resident. The story in which Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do men say I am?" is recorded in all 4 Gospels. True or false?
False.
Yeah, that's a false statement. Oh, please give it up for them. Akuafo Hall. The story in which Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do men say I am?" is recorded only in the Synoptic Gospels. True or false?
True.
Oh no, that's a false statement. Volta Hall. The story in which Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do men say I am?" is recorded only in Luke's Gospel. For a bonus. No, but yes, is showing.
So,
True.
Oh no, that's incorrect. Okay, our next set of questions. Non-resident, in at least one of the cases where Jesus raised the person from the dead, the faith of the receiver of the miracle was required.
True.
Oh no, that's a false statement. Okay, Akuafo. The linen cloth of the boy who fled naked about the time Jesus was arrested is the same linen cloth that was found in Jesus' tomb after the resurrection. The linen cloth of the boy who fled naked about the time Jesus was arrested is the same linen cloth that was found in Jesus' tomb after the resurrection.
False.
Yeah, that's a false statement. Oh, give it up for them. Akuafo. Volta Hall. Tears, kissing of feet, anointing with oil, and wiping with hair are all recorded in the incident of Jesus being anointed by a woman, and it's recorded in all 4 Gospels.
True.
Oh no, that's a false statement. Our last set of questions for this round. Non-resident. The story about the ministry of John the Baptist is recorded in Matthew chapter 3 and Luke chapter 3.
False.
Oh no, that's a true statement.
Oh.
Akuafo. The story about the ministry of John the Baptist is recorded in Mark chapter 1 and Luke chapter 3. Okay, for a bonus. Okay, non-resident.
True.
Yeah, that's a true statement. For 2 points. Volta. The story about the ministry of John the Baptist is recorded in Mark chapter 1 and John chapter 1.
False.
Oh no, that's a true statement. And that brings us to the end of round 3. At the end of round 3, here are the scores. Volta Hall earned 10 points. Non-residents earned 17 points. And Akuafo Hall earned 18 points. This is still very, very, very close. And this round is surely a game changer. This round is a game changer. Don't lose hope at all. Our fourth and final round for this contest, riddles. So in this round, there are 4 riddles. A set of clues will be read out to all teams on each riddle. And you have to draw my attention on your readiness to answer by ringing your bell. Non-residents, can I hear your bell, please? Akuafo Hall. Volta Hall. Oh, great. The first to answer rightly wins the point for that riddle. A riddle solved on the first clue is worth 5 points, and on the second clue, 4 points. A riddle solved on the third or any number of clues thereafter is worth 3 points. If a team wrongly answers a riddle, you will be out of that particular riddle until the next. Best wishes to all teams. Our first riddle for this contest. I am one of the high priests mentioned in both the Old Testament and the New. The meaning of my name is Father of Excellence or Abundance. In the New Testament, I am mentioned only once. I was mentioned by Jesus in connection to an event in the Old Testament which had something to do with a dozen of bread. In my day, I served together with Zadok during the reign of King David. My father was also a priest at a point in time, and his name was Ahimelech. Who am I? Who am I? We won't be didactic.
Most excellent Theophilus.
No, please. Anyone trying? Trying is free. No. Audience, I know you can do this one. Who am I? Okay, so the answer is Abiathar. It's a very interesting riddle, isn't it? Our next riddle. I am a fraction. In the Bible, I am associated with measurement of years. In the book of Daniel, I am described by this statement, a time times a half. My variations in other units are 42 and 1,260. Non-resident.
2/3.
Oh, no. Next, I'm still reading. I also represent in years the duration of a famine which happened in the days of a major prophet. Who am I?
Hey, try it. Princess, I'm seeing. Volta.
Please ring before you answer.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5 is the correct answer. You answered on the very last clue, 3 points. We have 2 riddles more to go. Anything can happen.
I don't think we can make it.
The third riddle. I am one of the 5 major offerings listed in Leviticus chapter 1. My name is derived from a Hebrew word which means to ascend. I must say I am the oldest in the Bible history, referenced in Genesis and Exodus, before the birth of the laws of offerings in Leviticus. My name suggests a total consumption, and I am wholly offered to God. I am a sweet aroma offering and a free will offering. Who am I? Non-resident.
The burnt offering of the burnt.
Continue.
The,
Please, what is your answer?
the burnt offering.
That is correct. So he answered on the very final riddle, on the very final clue. 3 points.
But he wasn't. It could have been. He wasn't. It could have been. He wasn't.
The fourth and final riddle. I am a phrase of 3 words. As an exact phrase, I appear 20 times in the Old Testament. I was first mentioned in a conversation of promise between the Lord and the prophet. I am considered a physical description or a spiritual metaphor or both. Two of my words are naturally occurring food substances in the liquid state. As a spiritual metaphor, I am the description the Lord gave of the promise in contrast to the experience of barrenness and bitterness of Egypt. I'm the description the Lord gave of the promise in contrast to the experience of the barrenness and bitterness in Egypt. Who am I?
Milk and honey.
That is correct. So you answered on the final clue 3 points. And that brings us to the end of the contest. So at the end of round 4 and our final round for the contest,
Volta all the way.
here are the scores. Volta Hall and 13 points. Akuafo Hall and 18 points. And non-residents and 23 points. Congratulations, Volta Hall, for giving us a good contest. It was, I saw that you were having some comebacks and all, but it was well. Akuafo Hall, you started so well.
So well.
But rather unfortunately. Okay.
Non-resident of me.
But it looks like you couldn't make it to the end. But congratulations, you gave us a good contest. Non-resident, congratulations on winning the contest. You are telling us that it's not enough to be only in a hall on campus. You can be outside and still know the Bible. Okay, thank you for congratulations again for winning the contest. We'll see you in the grand finale. Hello viewers, thank you for staying with us in this contest. We believe you learned a lot about the Bible and also had some great fun. Join us again next time when we bring you the third contest of the season. My name is Pamela Fokolaye and I am your quiz mistress. Bye.